Good morning, students. Let's see the continuity of 13th group elements. Okay, and today we are going to discuss about in 13th group elements some important general characteristics of 13th group elements. Keep the heading. General characteristics of 3rd A group elements or 13th A group elements. General characteristics of 13th A group elements. In that, bond nature, nature of bond or bond nature. Bond nature. Okay. All 3rd A group elements should be in covalent nature. Covalent nature means that is equal sharing of electron. That is equal sharing of electrons. Okay. So example boron trifluoride and boron trichloride. Okay, these are the examples, covalent molecules. These both are covalent molecules. Okay, and let's see. So what is the reason for covalency? Reason for covalency or covalent bonds. Okay, one is small size of 3rd A group ions. 3rd A group ions, and these have high charge, and these have high electronegative values. High electronegative, En means electronegative, high electronegative values. So these are the 3 important characteristics to show the covalent nature in the compounds. Okay, high electronegativity. So now, when 3rd A group elements bond with another atoms, their electronegative difference is not large. So electronegative difference not large. There is no large difference in their electronegativity. Let's see. This is A and this is B. AB molecule. This is third A group element, suppose. Third A group. Third A group element. A is the third A group element. Okay. Suppose electronegativity of A is 2.5. So now B is another atom like chlorine, whatever it. Okay. So their electronegativity is 2.5. Now what is the electronegativity difference? Almost zero. There is no large difference in their electronegativity. So in that particular case, the bond between these two atoms is called as covalent in nature. Electronegative difference is not larger, then that bond is considered as covalent bond, that is equal sharing of electron. Okay. If the difference is more, suppose 1,4, the difference is 3 nearly. In this case, they involved in ionic bond. Okay. Remember these things. Okay. So now it is covalent in nature. Okay. That means A bond, the bond means 2 electrons. Now 1 electron from A and 1 electron from B. Now this bond having 2 electrons. Now these 2 electrons belongs to this A and also these 2 electrons belongs to B. Equal sharing of electrons. Equal sharing of electrons in between the atoms. In between the atoms is called covalent bond. Okay, is it clear? So this reason is important here. Then anhydrous AlCl3 and gallium trichloride. Anhydrous means without water. Without water. If water is present in that compound, we call it is hydrous. Anhydrous means without water. That is pure compounds almost. Okay. Anhydrous means without water. Without water. Not dissolved in water. Not dissolved in water. So anhydrous AlCl3 and GaCl3 is covalent in nature. So what are the bonds present in anhydrous AlCl3 and GaCl3? Clearly it is covalent bond. Okay. So if we dissolved in water, hydrated AlCl3 or gallium Cl3 are in ionic nature, So let's see, hydrated AlCl3. So AlCl3 when dissolved in water, it produces AlH2O6 plus 3. AlH2O6 plus 3. So here the name of this compound is aluminium. How many water molecules are there? 6. Okay. So now we call it is hexa. 6 means hexa. H2O means we call it is aqua, aluminium 3. Hexa, aqua, aluminium 3. Okay. So now oxidation state is +3 here and the hybridization is sp3 D2. What is the hybridization here? sp3 D2 for aluminium. Okay, remember this. Hexa aqua aluminium 3. Okay, so aluminium is sp3 D2 hybridization, and it is ionic in nature, and it is stable in water. Stable in water or aqueous medium. Stable in water. Okay, and stable in water in aqueous medium. Okay, so now what is the nature of this one? It is slightly undergoes ionic nature in water. Why? Because it is hydrated. Hydrated. Remember this. Is that clear, all of you? Listen. So simply we can write as AlH2O 6 plus 3 as MH2O 6 plus 3, where M is aluminium or gallium. Okay, where M is aluminium or gallium. Remember this. So its stability decreased from top to bottom. Top to bottom means boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium. Top to bottom decreases. Why? Because up to these 3 exhibit plus 3, and here this exhibit plus 1 mostly. Am I right? Plus 1 oxidation state. Okay. Now what is the oxidation state of this M? Oxidation state of here Mr aluminium is plus 3. Remember this, plus 3. So up to boron aluminium this is stable. So when we move across gallium to thallium, it exhibit only plus 1. Only plus 1 compounds only stable. Okay. So now stability is decreases from top to bottom. So like this. Okay. So the stability is decreases. That means plus 3 possibilities decreases. Plus 3 possibilities decreases. Remember this. Is it clear? Boron, aluminium plus 3. So in this case they are stable. So when we move along gallium to thallium, okay, stability is decreases. Why? Because it is not plus 3, it is clearly in plus 1. Okay. Okay, is it clear? Plus 1. Okay. So now why hydrated? Why hydrated AlCl3 is stable and ionic. Stable and ionic. Let's see. Ionic in nature. That means here hydrated. Okay. Let's see. This is AlCl3. Am I right? AlCl3. Before going to discuss this, ionization energy. First 3 ionization energies of aluminium is less than boron. That is one of the point. It can lose the 3 electrons in aqueous medium. That means Al can lose 3 electrons and it converted as Al plus 3. Okay. So loss of 3 electrons from their outermost shell is called as ionization energy. That means ionization energy of aluminium, that means Al plus 3 electrons, the amount of energy required to remove the electron, the amount of energy required to remove the electron from aluminum is called ionization energy is 5137 kilojoule per mole. Okay, so this value is less than hydration energy of AlCl3. So AlCl3 in the hydration energy of AlCl3 is 5808 kilojoule per mole. How much it is? Hydration energy is more than ionization energy, then it is soluble in water. So AlCl3 is soluble in water and it becomes ionic. Okay, but anhydrous Cl3 is a covalent. Remember this point. Okay, is it clear? So now what is hydration energy here? Hydration energy means energy released when 1 mole of ion undergoes hydration. Let's see. So you know NaCl, how it is ionized, Na plus Cl minus. Suppose these are the gases. Now we add water. Addition of water is called as hydration here. So we add. Is it clear up to everyone? Hydration of water. So now let's see here. Hydration energy means now this is NaCl. Okay. Now Na plus Cl minus. This is gas, vapor. Now we add water. Addition of water is called as hydration. This phenomena is called as hydration. Addition of water. Okay. Now this becomes Na plus becomes aqueous and Cl minus becomes aqueous. It is gas. It is aqueous state. Aqueous means this is Na plus, am I right? Now we dissolved in water means in water what is the more electronegative atom? Oxygen is the more electronegative atom. Okay, oxygen is the most electronegative atom. Okay, this is positive, this is positive, partially positive, delta. This is partially negative, suppose. Now minus and positive, there is interaction between these. Okay, here also interaction. So water molecules are surrounded to Na plus ions. Okay, this is called solubility. Okay, when solubility is more, its ionic character is high. Okay, this is called hydration. Here this is the ion, 1 mole of ion, suppose. Now amount of heat energy are released for 1 mole of ion undergoes hydration. Now here heat energy is released. Delta means heat energy here. Simple. Heat released. Energy is released. This energy is called as hydration energy. This energy is called as hydration energy. So hydration energy is more than ionization energy, then they are well soluble. Is it clear, ma, all of you? Remember this point. So hydration enthalpy or hydration energy is more than ionization energy, then such compounds are soluble in water. Remember one thing, anhydrous AlCl3 is a covalent, where hydrated AlCl3 is a ionic in nature. That is the reason. Okay. And one more important point to show the tetravalency of third A group elements. Okay. And suppose BCl3, BF3, okay, or tetravalent compounds, because the first three ionization, the first sum of first three ionization energy of boron is very high. Okay. So that means ionization energy already we discussed. Remove the electrons from one by one. Okay. So that means boron B plus 3 electrons. And let's see. Ionization energy is very high, means B unable to form B plus 3 is very difficult to. Okay. That means little tendency to form B plus 3. Okay, ionization energy is very high. So BF3 and BCl3 is covalent. Is it clear, all of you? What about thallium 1? So thallium plus 1 is more ionic in aqueous medium. AQ means aqueous medium here. So that means when dissolved in water it forms thallium hydroxide, which is ionic in nature. Thallium hydroxide is ionic in nature. But thallium plus 3 compounds, thallium plus 3 is unstable in aqueous medium. So thallium plus 3 compounds, maybe thallium trichloride, suppose, is covalent in nature, not ionic. Okay, thallium plus is only ionic in nature. Is it clear, all of you? So then go for BF3 and BCl3 and AlCl3 are covalent in nature, and these are electron deficient compounds. Electron deficient compounds. Okay, not stable. These need electrons. These need 2 electrons to get octet and get the stability. stability. Okay, so BF3 and BCl3 and ALC can accept two electrons, accept two electrons from electron rich compounds like ammonia, two electrons, lone pairs, ammonia. So BF3, BCl3 and AlCl3 are Lewis acid. Lewis acid means electron pair acceptor is called as Lewis acid. Electron pair acceptor is called as Lewis acid. Lewis acid means electron pair acceptor is called Lewis acid. For example, boron trichloride interact with ammonia. Let's see before going to this. So let us take boron. Now it is like this, boron trichloride. A bond means 2 electrons, am I right? Total how many electrons here now? 2, 2, 2, 6 electrons. 6 electrons, am I right? Not octet. Am I right? Octet means it is 8 electrons. So this is stable. This is not a stable. Okay? Due to 6 electrons. Now it is electron deficient compound. So it is called Lewis acid. Now hybridization, here it is sp2 hybridization, bond angle 120 degrees, and it is planar molecule, and it is trigonal planar structure with bond angle 120 degrees. Now this boron trichloride interact with ammonia. In ammonia we have 2 electrons excess. These electrons donate to boron. Boron trichloride gain 2 electron from ammonia. Am I right? This bond is called as dative bond. How many electrons supply to boron? 2 electrons. Now total how many electrons? 8 electrons. Now it is stable in this form. Okay? Dative bond. Or another name is coordinate covalent bond. Or dative bond or coordinate covalent bond. Why? Because the required 2 electrons from one molecule or one atom. Am I right here? So the such kind of bond is called coordinate covalent bond or dative bond. So now 8 electrons get in boron, that is stable condition. Now in this case boron is tetrahedral structure. Here it is, the structure is tetrahedral. Remember this. Okay? Tetrahedral structure. So now in this way boron trichloride gets stability. That means Lewis acid nature, number right? This means NH3 means Lewis base here, am I right? Now what about this one? Lewis acid. Why? Because it accepts the electron pair. So it is Lewis acid. So boron trichloride, boron exhibit +3, am I right? In this case they act as Lewis acids. Why? That means it can able to accept 2 electrons, am I right? So in this manner. So now what about from top to bottom? Lewis acidic nature, Lewis acidity is decreases or increases? My question that is. From top to bottom, Lewis acidity is increases or decreases? from top to bottom, in a group, which group it is? We are discussing about third A group, am I right? So now boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium, am I right? Up to they can easily exhibit +3, okay? Here up to their most stable oxidation state +1, am I right? So in this case, in +3 case, these are good Lewis acid, am I right? Lewis acids, okay? So here it is +1 only. So electron pair acceptor already it's only +1, am I right? Need only one electron to neutralize, am I right? So listen, if thallium +1 is stable oxidation state, it need only one electron to act as thallium only. So gain 2 electron is only Lewis acid, am I right? Gain 2 electron, gaining of 2 electron is only Lewis acid. But here only it gain 1 electron, am I right? So Lewis acidity is decreases or not? So simple. So up to this case they are good at Lewis acid. So from top to bottom, Lewis acidity decreases. Remember this. These are good Lewis acid, acidity is decreases. Gallium, indium, thallium too. Why? Because it exhibits only +1. Here it is +3 to gain 2 electrons readily. It is already only +1. It need only 1 electron only. So what is Lewis acid? If any ion or atom get 2 electrons, then it is called as Lewis acid. Here what is, how many electrons are deficiency? Here only 1 electron it need. So Lewis acid means gaining of 2 electrons. So the Lewis acidity tendency is less. Okay, is it clear, all of you? So remember this. This point is important. From top to bottom, Lewis acidity is decreases. So what is the reason to decrease the Lewis acidity? Okay. So in that, thallium, gallium and indium thallium, they shows +1 oxidation state, and due to inert pair effect, am I right? We discussed already inert pair effect. Inert pair effect means reluctance of involving of NS2 electrons in chemical bond is called inert pair effect, am I right? Okay, that means in gallium, indium, thallium, NS2 NP outermost electron configuration, these electrons not involved in the chemical bond. NS2 electrons only, P electron only involved in the chemical bond. The reluctance of participation of NS bond of electron in chemical bonding is called as inert pair effect. So only which electron is participate? P electron. P means how many electrons are there in P? Only 1 electron, am I right? It can only participate in the chemical bond. That means how many electrons it can able to lose? Only 1 electron. That means thallium exhibit +1 only. Okay. So this is the reason to decrease the Lewis acidity. Okay. So due to this reason, so this is one of the reasons. So Lewis acidity decreased from top to bottom in third A group. Okay, this inert pair effect not possible in Al, boron and aluminium. No inert pair effect. Remember this. But here inert pair effect is there. Inert pair effect means simple. These outermost NS electrons not involved in the chemical bond. Remember this. Okay? Is that clear, all of you? Okay. So these are some of the general characteristics of third A group elements up to. Then let's go for some chemical reactions. Chemical reactions of third A group elements. In that, first reaction with air. Okay. So remember this here, pure boron, that is crystal boron in crystalline state. Pure boron means crystalline state. Okay. Is not react with air means in air we have O2 and also N2, N2. So is not react with air, or simply we call it is less reactive. Is it clear? So but finely divided, that means like as powder, or impure boron also we call it is impure boron, not pure, impure boron, or finely divided boron means like powder, simply like powder, but finely divided boron react with air. Aluminum can also react with air. Okay, remember this. So now let's see the equations, chemical reactions which are involved. Let us take boron. This boron, which is finely divided, remember this, not pure or crystal, interact with O2, it gives rise to B2O3, boric anhydride. What is the name of this? Boric anhydride, B2O3. Balance this equation. Here this is 2 3 is 6 oxygen, 3 2 is 6 oxygen here. How many borons here we have in B2O3? 4 here, keep 4 borons here. 2 2 is 4 borons, 4. 6 oxygen, 2 3 is 6 oxygen, boric anhydride. Okay. So, and heat here, this is the symbol. And for example, aluminium is treated with oxygen, it also gives to Al2O3. We call it is aluminum trioxide or alumina. Okay, alumina. So, and what about at high temperature? Temperature is high. At high temperature, what about this one? At high temperature they formed, high temperature boron and aluminium forms nitrides. What about nitrates here? See, so the same equation, boron when treated with oxygen at high temperature, that means at high temperatures they interact with nitrogen in atmosphere, nitrogen in air. Boron treated with nitrogen, they form boron nitrides, nitrides they give. Okay, boron nitrides. And aluminium treated with N2 at high temperature, it gives aluminium nitride. Okay, aluminium nitrides. Is it clear, all of you? At high temperature, what is the expected product of treatment of boron with or aluminium with air? Means in that air, nitrogen is reacted with boron and aluminium, they forms nitride. At low temperature, oxygen interact with boron and aluminum. They form boric anhydride and aluminum trioxide or aluminum. Okay, very very important this one. So now gallium and indium not affected by eight. What about thallium? Thallium can form thallium oxide. Thallium, which is here +1, suppose thallium +1 means thallium oxide. Okay, how it is? Thallium +1, what is the charge? Oxygen minus. According to crisscross method, now this is thallium, this superscript as subscript, right? Thallium 2, and this, what about this one? 1. Don't write minus or +1 here. This is the compound. Tl2O or Tl2O. Okay? You know crisscross method, how to exchange their superscript as subscript. So thallium oxide means oxygen minus to thallium +1. Thallium oxide formula is thallium 2 oxygen 1. Tl2O. Okay? Thallium oxide. Okay? It is a thin film or thin layer. Thin film or layer. Suppose this is the thallium rod metal, you know, this is thallium. When it is interact with air on its surface first it forms thallium oxide on the surface. Further it doesn't interact with, due to this thallium oxide, this oxygen further doesn't interact with thallium. Why? Because this thallium oxide has this is the thallium metal, okay? This is the thallium metal. Now oxygen interact with this thallium metal, it forms thallium oxide on the surface of this metal. Further oxygen doesn't interact with this thallium metal because this thallium oxide act as a layer, prevent layer. So it is the oxygen unable to interact with thallium metal. Why? Because in between oxygen and thallium there is a layer formed, that is thallium oxide. Okay, that means called as passive. What we call it is passive. Okay, so due to this thallium oxide is, due to this thallium as thin layer, so it prevents the further reaction of thallium with oxygen. So it is called passive. That means unreactive. Passive. What we call it is passive. Okay. So gallium, indium not affected by air. Simple. Remember that. Thallium can able to interact, but after thallium oxide it doesn't interact with oxygen. Why? Because thallium oxide prevents the reaction between oxygen and thallium as layer. Okay. So this is the reaction. At high temperature they form nitrides. Remember this. So is it clear, all of you? Are you following or not? Write the notes properly. Okay, everyone. And next go for reaction with water. Okay. So these topics will discuss on tomorrow. Okay, have a nice day. So write that notes properly and practice the recording hand sheets. Okay.